Hey everyone, Nubkeks here and welcome to my July AMA, a video where I answer all and every one of your questions that you guys have submitted. If you want to get involved with the submissions, I do them through Patreon and through Discord, and you can find the links to those things down below. Okay, so apologies, this AMA has been super delayed in coming out. Basically, one of the questions that you guys asked when I first recorded this a month ago was, hey Nubkeks, do you have a girlfriend? Is there a Miss Nubkeks around the place? And at the time, the answer is yes. And then literally, I think 1 or 2 days after I recorded the AMA, the answer changed to a no. So I wanted to go back and obviously re-record those bits, and then I just got real lazy and didn't actually get around to it. I wanted to take, a few days off before that anyway. But yeah, I'm getting around to it now. So yeah, stay tuned to hear the answer to that question, the new answer, later on in this video. And yeah, I also re-recorded then some of the other answers too, I'm about to re-record some of the other answers because they are like out of date now. So there'll be a mix of like old stuff. Also, some of the names you'll see in the top left from the questions have changed. People changed their usernames by the time I took the pictures, so I'll be saying a different name for some of the questions than who's there, but you'll work out who they are anyway. All right, guys, enjoy the AMA. Okay, diving into your questions then, gonna grab a couple of questions here from Patreon first. We've got a question from Martin Oinsofting, who says, what happened to Varian in HGC? Actually, really interesting question here. In the mid-season brawl in particular, Varian really fell off. He was very rarely played and had a pretty bad win rate. I'm not entirely sure why Varian fell off so much. I suspect it has to do with a couple of things. Number one, I think there's a very heavy dive meta at the moment. Dive is extremely potent and powerful, and Varian, while he can dive somewhat well, he's not amazing at it, and he also is pretty terrible at countering dive. He can survive himself, but he really can't do much to support his teammates. I suppose the other second thing is that he doesn't really come online until level 10, which is also part of it. I imagine if you looked at the heroes that were popular, he might not exactly fit in well with those either. But Varian's still a really solid hero, and I wouldn't be surprised at all to see him come back, be picked up in a big way. I think that just the very particular meta of the recent HGC tournaments didn't suit him very well. Again, I'm not 100% sure why, but those are my best guesses. Got another question here from Jacob Nielsen, who says, what's the highest healing statistic you've ever seen? I actually don't know. To be honest with you, I have no clue. I mean, you'll notice this when you watch my videos. I very rarely actually look at stats in game. I very rarely look at stats in game. I notice this with other players. They'll always be talking about the stats or looking at the stats. I almost never do this. Personally, stats they don't over much tie into my understanding of the game in terms of I kind of have a really good feel for what's going on without seeing the stats. And I kind of check the stats if I'm getting confused, if I'm unsure as to why something is going the way it is. Like, hey, hang on, why are we losing these team fights so badly? Our comp should work pretty well against theirs. Check it. Oh, okay, well, Zarya hasn't done any damage this game. She's actually must be mistiming her shields and she's not actually being effective. That's what the problem is. Okay, I get it. Get really high stats without doing a good job. You could be in the wrong places at the wrong time. I mean, classic example of this is, the guy who gets MVP because he never died, but then he also didn't actually earn MVP because he was not participating in the team fights properly. He was running away too early and actually abandoning his team. Made the game much harder for his teammates, but worked away with personally good stats. It's a team game. For me, it's more about how do you function within the team than what stats you got. That being said, in terms of the highest healing stats, would probably be a late game Lucio, or a Morales would typically do the most. So those are the heroes I'd expect to have the highest healing output. Next question is from Dale Hobbs, who says, I've got a non-HOTS related question for fun. What's your go-to snack of choice when you stop at a gas station or convenience store when you travel? I love that. I love that. You've got two options of like the American English version. It's like, I don't use either one. I speak UK English over here in Ireland. We'd call them, I think it's UK English. In Ireland, we call them like a garage. Or a newsagent's. That's what you'd be going to for that, or a grocery store. So my snack of choice when I travel, that's a kind of a tough question. The standard thing I would pick up would probably be like a can of Coke or a bottle of Coke. That's one of my favorite things to grab. I do quite like, like onion rings or spicy onion rings as crisps, because you get a really big bag of it. It's great value for money, and you just like chomp away on the bus. It's fantastic, annoy everyone around you. I do enjoy the odd chocolate bar, but I don't eat them that much now I think about it. Or you know what I love? Like sour jellies, like wine gum sours or stuff like that, or wine gums. I do love some jellies. So probably those things. They're my favorites. Yum. Then next question is from G Master Lily, who says, "Hi Nubkeks, big supporter here from the good old Road to Rank 1 days." Oh, that was back in the preseason when it was rank 50 to rank 1. Those are the days. By the way, you can check that out if you're kind of interested, because I often get asked, again, a very frequently asked question is, would you level an account up from bronze to grandmaster? And that was kind of what happened back in preseason, because you're just thrown in like at the very, very bottom of the ranks, which would be roughly equivalent, I suppose, to bronze right now. Or maybe it was silver. I don't really know precisely how it would correspond, but something like that. And then you'd have to climb up rank 1. It was more like, you know, kind of silver to diamond, but I mean, still gives you a kind of an insight into how that would have gone. It's a long time ago, though. Very long time ago. So the question continues, aside from that tangent. When do you stream? Probably never catch you online because I'm too busy getting tilted in Hurley. Know the feeling? Which I found this earlier, and I could have gotten the diamond level. Guess plat will do at least. Okay, so yeah, he's wondering about... I'm actually thinking of adding more diamond supporters on Patreon, which is like the coaching specific stuff. You can check that stuff out on Patreon if you want, or there's coaching videos you can check out. Won't talk about it here, but I'm considering adding more. So just to note that for people that might be interested. Let me know as well if you are interested in the comments. So I got an idea for that. But the big question is, you know, when do you stream? So at the moment, current streaming schedule, I stream on my own Twitch channel at 12 p.m. GMT every weekday. And then I do even some bonus streams other times as well. I do Hero League on Tuesdays and Thursdays on that channel. And then I kind of do variety games, like different sorts of stuff on the other days. And you'll have seen some of those cropping up, like Battle Right, Warcraft 3, Stronghold, that sort of stuff. Cropping up recently here, even on the main channel, and then I post the rest up on Nubs Streams. I also stream 4 days a week on the Exola Esports Academy channel at 5 p.m. GMT. And I do 3-hour streams every single day, and all of those are Heroes of the Storm streams. So you can find all the links in the description below, and yeah, you might want to check that stuff out, because I'm sure there's loads of people that don't actually know about the two channels, or yeah, they might know about one, but not the other. They might not know about either of them. So yeah, I stream actually lots and lots of stuff at the moment. For the last couple of months on, I suppose maybe 3 months on Exola, and then the last month or so maybe on my own channel. I've been doing a lot more streaming. So yeah, there you go. Okay, so I'm actually gonna, I'm re-recording this bit. I'm gonna put these two questions together. We got a question from Darklord13. It says, what are your plans for the Nub Talks channel? And a question from Funky Monkey EDC says, could you give us some more info about the future office and your new PC and just the future of streams overall? So yeah, this is gonna be a long answer. I'm gonna probably ramble a lot, but hopefully you'll find it really interesting, kind of an insight into my work, my life, and kind of where I am, and all that sort of stuff. Pretty personal, so yeah, hopefully you enjoy this one. Okay, so to lay the basis for answering this question, I want to kind of illustrate some of the problems that I want to work on at the moment, and it ties into this sort of stuff. So I've been doing like Heroes of the Storm content pretty much full time, and this has like changed a bit. I've already started implementing some stuff since you guys asked these questions, right? And since I initially recorded this at AMA. But I've been doing Heroes of the Storm full time for like a year and a half, and the channel's really growing. It's now like a full-time job. The pay isn't amazing, but it's pay, so it's something I can live off, albeit with limitations in a few different areas. So one of the limitations is that I do still live at home with my parents, because I live in Dublin. Dublin's very expensive to rent, and then simply I can't just I could go and rent somewhere right now, and I could do that, but the issue is that because of the work I do, I basically work 10-12 hours a day at all different hours. A kind of like radio level voice, just constantly going, commentating on games, sometimes, shouting or screaming in excitement, whatever it might happen to be, or frustration. So there's like a big noise level thing going on, and then also noise coming from outside into the recording room too. So that means I can't just move out to anywhere. I'd have to move out to somewhere that's a good place. One thing I was looking at was getting an office. But again, offices in Dublin are crazy expensive. It would be something like €500 a month for like a really small shitty office, something like a little like 6x8 or something, tiny little office in a shared office space, which would still have all of those issues with noise pollution. I know construction standards in Dublin and Ireland just in general are not good in terms of noise reduction, in terms of like the partition walls between different rooms, not good at all. So it's a real pain to actually soundproof somewhere properly, or at least, mostly soundproof it. So all that stuff is a big concern. But yeah, at the moment I'm living at home. I work in the back room in the house. And you guys will have noticed that from streams, right? That sometimes you can hear the kitchen clanking away on the other side. Winston, my puppy, has to keep coming through to go to the toilet out in the back garden. People just need to go through sometimes. And, there is still like a big issue with noise in the house. So what I'm looking to do is to actually get like a prefab room. And it's looking like it could cost about €10,000. It's pretty damn expensive. But that would be in the back garden. That would also be able to be moved to other places. If I did ever move, I could move it as well. That would be bigger. We're looking at something like 14 foot by 8 or like 12 foot by 10, something like a bigger space. And I'd quite like that room for expansion. Fit in maybe 2 PCs in there, potentially even like a comfy chair, and set up like a console space as well for recording. Be able to stream or record off consoles with the capture card all hooked in, and like a private space, no noise contamination. Or not much. More freedom to do things like stream in the middle of the night, all that sort of stuff. So that's one of the big things I've been building towards. And it's just a big, huge upfront expense to actually put forward that money. So I've just been saving like crazy to try to get up to that point. But I think that's probably the best solution in the short term. It kind of like, I know one of my friends just like started a company over in the States, and where he lives, I think it's in Wisconsin. But he was able to rent like a big, massive, like 14 by 10 room. I think it was a big, like 14 by 10 room. But he was able to rent a really big office space for something like $300 a month. And I was looking in Dublin, and it's literally like twice as expensive for somewhere half the size. It's just crazy, unfortunately. That's just one of the downsides of living where I'm living. The plus side is that all my friends and family are here. Also, like, it's just the place I know. Place I know and love. So yeah, that kind of stuck here in a way. Kind of stuck here. So that's kind of like this, the workspace kind of issue. And again, trying to future-proof it in terms of, thinking how would I like to expand the business, and how would I like to expand this sort of stuff I'm doing here. Speaking of that, so you're asking about the future of streams and new PC and stuff. So yeah, since I recorded this initially, I have been streaming a lot more. I stream a lot these days. So to give you an insight really of my working day, I wake up around like between 10 and 11. I actually have a very slow start to the day, which is nice. Wake up around 10 or 11, get up real slow, chill out. About half 11 is kind of like when I go into work mode. So half 11, I start working. My initial stream, my first stream of the day goes live at 12 p.m. GMT, so midday. That's usually like a 2-hour stream, roughly speaking. Then I do a bit more work in between. Then at 5 p.m. GMT, I have another stream from 5 until 8 p.m. Then I do more work. Then there might be another stream or just more work. Basically, I'm working from like half 11 in the morning until 1 or 2 at night. And there's breaks worked in, like breaks in between. I take breaks to get food and stuff. Then there's also some breaks just where like I'm exporting a video on the PC and there's not much that can be done. So I might take like an hour break while something exports, something like that. But yeah, I'd say like every day, work from about half 11 till in the morning to 2 at night, roughly speaking, with kind of breaks sprinkled in between. But it's kind of like this constant job kind of thing. It's kind of crazy. There's, I'd say, minimum usually 5 hours live streams per day, though I'm trying to take Sundays off for the most part off. I still often do a stream for like 2 or 3 hours on Sundays even still, but I try to take it off as much as possible to give me a bit of a break. But usually minimum of 5 hours live streaming a day, sometimes more, maybe even 7 hours live streaming a day, and that's just the pure live stuff. Then I do all the YouTube stuff, so I do all the stuff for Nubkeks. Then I'm also running Nubs Streams, which is my second channel, which is like VODs and stuff from the live streams going up there for more Let's Play kind of things. Because I've been doing Heroes just constantly, getting a little bit burnt out of Heroes, and I don't want to burn out. And then just, just future-proofing. Like I want this to be a career long-term, and, Heroes probably won't be around in 40 years. So I want to start building up like the more variety to the channels and to what I do. So that there is room to expand and to adapt and to change, whenever that's needed. So I've been doing a lot of different games on the live streams as well. And those are going up on Nubs Streams, and you'll have seen that stuff cropping up on my channel. Like we did Warcraft 3, just been playing a game called Northgard, some stuff like Orcs Must Die, Battle Right, loads of stuff. And I'm having a ton of fun doing all that stuff, but been expanding into that. So yeah, so I run Nubkeks YouTube channel full time. I've been doing the Nubs Streams channel full time, so I have to make all the artwork for all of that stuff, design all the graphics, everything scheduled, everything uploaded, all the metadata, actually like splitting the videos properly, recording all the intro bits and editing that, trying to do some properly like edited videos, not just stuff off live streams as well to boost it up too. All the social media stuff. It's just, there's a lot of stuff that goes on. So it's pretty much just working like nonstop all day, every day in a way, with then little breaks sprinkled. So it's kind of hard to judge how much I work, but I'd say maybe like 10 hours a day, kind of minimum, something like that. So something like 60, 65 hours a week. I don't know. It could be more. It could easily be more, especially on busy weeks. Then I also do Patreon coaching. So I do like 3 coaching sessions usually every week on average, and that's probably going to increase as well. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on, which keeps me very, very busy. Which I want to find more time, and I want to also simplify the work, not simplify, streamline the workload or the workflow so that I can get more done with the time I have. So there's a few things going into that. So number one, the new PC is a big part of that. Obviously, because I'm streaming so much, I want to be able to stream in higher quality. At the moment, I can only stream 720p, 30 frames per second. That's the only thing my PC can actually handle, and it will struggle streaming newer games just at all. It's going to be a bit of a burden. It's going to be a problem. So what I want to do is get a new PC, probably about 2,000 for new PC euros again, which would be capable of, you know, streaming new games at good quality, you know, 1080p, 720, 60 FPS, or even 1080p, 60 FPS for some games. I'm not exactly sure, but something like that, just better quality streams, because streaming is such a big part of what I'm doing. Also to, you know, just simplify the recording process. It's such a pain at the moment to transfer stream stuff over. Half the time the streams don't transfer properly into Adobe Premiere because I can't record the streams while I'm playing them. I can only stream. So it'd be really nice to be able to stream and record at the same time. And that sort of stuff, just to streamline that workflow even more. Save me a lot of time and hassle. Yeah, just like boost up the quality of the videos. It's one of the questions I actually get asked all the time, which is like, hey, why is this stuff only 720p? Can this not be higher quality? And the answer is like, no, unfortunately right now it's not. And like sometimes they're quite aggressive. They're like, oh, like, we know you can do it better. Like, why don't you? It's like, no, I would love to. Trust me. I want to make the stream quality, the video and the stream quality better, even more than you do, because this is what I do all day, every day. But at the moment, I just simply can't, because I don't have, you know, 12, 15,000 euro just lying around to be able to just do all this stuff just like that. I don't have that, sadly. If you want to give it to me, though, I'll be happy to do it. Just watch. I will. I promise. But yeah, that's so I want the new PC for that. Also then it would streamline stuff. So one of the things that's been happening, you might have spotted him in the Hitman video I did, but my uncle has been helping out a little bit, and he's interested in you know, he's just really interested in gaming and YouTube and stuff like that. So he wants to get involved more with some of the video editing, which would be amazing. I would love like an assistant, an intern kind of thing to help make like newer, better videos and just help share some of that workload. One of the big problems we ran into, though, is there's just not much he can physically do because I'm working on my PC all the time. So there's nowhere for him to actually work when he's over here. We've got no easy way to transfer files simply and stuff like that. And it needs more of an investment. So obviously you can imagine when I get this new office, I have a second PC. There'll be 2 PCs in the office, easy to transfer files. Like when I'm streaming or recording on one PC, he could be on a second PC working away. Editing footage, that sort of stuff. So that could be really amazing for improving the sort of stuff that's happening here, and the kind of videos that I'm actually able to do, because I'm just limited by time. And then simply things like having a stronger, more powerful PC that would just make editing the videos just a quicker process. It would export videos probably 3 or 4 times, maybe 5 times as fast. It would make a big difference. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. New PC, new office. Plans for the Nub Talks channel, to go back to that first question, kind of ties into all this stuff. So that's my 3rd channel, and that's kind of like a vlogging channel. And I do want to do way more on that. I want to do way more on that. And it was kind of on politics before, so I want it to be on like politics and like my opinions on life, kind of life advice. Just kind of be like, this is the way I look at the world, and I want to like just talk about that to you guys, and hopefully people will find it, if not directly helpful, like, oh yeah, Nubkeks, you're right about that, and that's like a great way of looking at it. It might be like, oh, well, you know, hey, even if I think it's wrong, it got me thinking about it. And because I really enjoy thinking. I really love watching debates or lectures and just having my brain just inspired, you know, just like get those cogs turning. I love that stuff. So that's kind of the way I want to make that channel go. And I'm thinking of doing it like as a kind of animation channel. They'd probably be pretty shitty animations at the start because just I have to do them and I'm not good and I don't have the time to make them good. So it'd be kind of like CPG Grey, that sort of channel be an inspiration, but kind of like shitty in terms of visually shitty, but hopefully the content would still be kind of good. But then again, more of like a more of a sit down and chat type video, or just more kind of personal life type things, as opposed to him, which is very structured, like political stuff oftentimes. So it'd be a bit broader, but that's something I definitely want to do. I'm actually going to go, and I probably will. I'm really thinking about making a video this weekend for that channel, but I want to do it every week, and just simply finding the time to do that every week on top of everything else. Because at the moment I'm doing like full-time streaming, running 2 other channels basically full-time as well. Adding a 3rd channel on that would be really, it's a really big workload, particularly if I'm doing like, you know, even if it's like a 5-10 minute advice video, I've got to draw lots of pictures for all those different parts. It's a lot to add on because I want to do it right. I want to do it well. So it's just literally finding the time to fit it all in, but I would love to, and I think I will, especially tying in with like, because I've been doing a lot of relationship stuff recently, so a lot of like my thoughts on that, or like personality and stuff. I think it could be really interesting for people, so yeah, stay tuned for that. You'll hear about it when it goes live. So yeah, there you go. Again, like I said, long answer, but hopefully that gave you a kind of cool insight into my life and all the stuff that's going on with that. Okay, next question is from Banji, and he asks, LOL greater than Dota? So it's funny enough, when I recorded this first, I was saying, well, I used to play League of Legends, so I was never interested in Dota. I liked Heroes of the Storm because it was significantly different in that it had much shorter game times. It was kind of more streamlined, more action-packed, so that was what attracted me to Heroes of the Storm. And then I was kind of going, well, there's no way I'd go play Dota, because why would I ever learn a 3rd MOBA? I just don't have the time or space for that, or the real reason to. Funnily enough, since doing that, I actually started playing Battlerite. I really enjoyed Battlerite, because Battlerite, again, doesn't have any like the laning phase or the overall strategy, which I do love, of course. That's one of the huge things I love about these games. But what's cool about Battlerite was that it's this just pure arena game. It's like 2v2, 3v3. Your heroes have a whole bunch of abilities, like twice as many abilities, but you're just in this arena and it's just fighting, and it's just fast-paced, just fighting, just arena combat, which I thought was really cool and different enough from League of Legends, different enough from Heroes of the Storm to make it worth playing. So I actually been really enjoying that, and I'm planning to do a lot more Battlerite. But yeah, like I played League first, obviously, because it came out first. I know I dabbled a bit in Dota, like on Warcraft 3, like way back. But really, like I was a kid, I didn't even know what was going on. It's just like, ooh, this hero looks cool. But I didn't really know what was happening at all. But yeah, I played League before. I don't play it anymore. I watch like the World Championships. I find those quite interesting. The production quality for League esports is really high because it's such a huge game. And it's like, that's one of the main ways they promote their games, through their esports. So yeah, I really enjoy watching that, but I don't play it. I've never watched or played any Dota, and I've never really had much interest in it. It's just too similar to League of Legends, which I already know, so it's kind of like, why bother investing all the time into learning something that's so similar to a game I already know and don't really have time for, basically, is the way I look at it. So yeah, there you go. Next question from Quest Thrall. Will you be able to leave the diamond mines? Yeah, so this is one of the things you guys have probably noticed, is this season there's been a lot less Road to Grandmaster videos. I've been a lot slower climbing the Hero League ladder, and I just have way less Hero League games played. And this is, I've kind of mentioned this already in the video, I just got a bit burned out of Heroes of the Storm just from playing it. So I'm even thinking maybe resting the Road to Grandmaster for this season. We'll see, and then come back to it next season and focus on more different kind of guides and stuff like that. And just the streaming and expanding the Nubs streams, and maybe even working on the Nub Talks, those channels. So I don't know, but yeah, I will get out of Diamond, so don't worry about that. I'll hit Master for sure to get the rewards. I'm not sure if I'll push for Grandmaster this season. I don't know if I'm super bothered doing it. We'll see. We'll see. Like I've hit Grandmaster, what, 3 times now? So kind of like I don't have too much to prove to myself anymore, which is nice, you know? Whereas before I was like, oh, I wanted to hit it the first time to see could I actually do it. And then I did it once. I said, well, can I actually do it again? So I did it at the start of the season. And I said, okay, well, I hit it at the start of the season, but could I hit it at the end of the season again? And then I did. I went and I hit it at the end. Actually hit it twice at the end of the season. Hit it once, then dropped down, and then went and hit it again. I was there for the end. So yeah, it was kind of one of those things where I said, okay, you know what? I've kind of proved to myself that I can consistently hit Grandmaster. So that kind of takes away some of the motivation for me. I'm kind of like, okay. But then again, I do know at the same time that I enjoy the game the most when I'm at Grandmaster and playing with other Grandmasters. That's when I feel, that's like really the first time when I feel properly like challenged, and it's kind of interesting, and I'm actually learning from like players that are as good and then players that are better. Because I don't get that at all in Diamond or Master. Also, the problem with this season that I don't enjoy is that they halved the personal adjustment. So it's kind of like been the snowball effect, right? So basically they halved the personal adjustment, the MMR adjustment. So instead of getting plus 60 points for every win, and then also, you know, having 60 points removed from your loss, right? So it'd be like plus 260 minus 140 for every win or loss. From last season, they halved that this season. So it's only plus or minus 30 for me. So it basically takes a lot longer for you to climb. In a way, it's like twice as long almost to climb up the points. So if you couple the fact that I'm not playing as much as I was before, plus it takes twice as long, plus then the fact that I've been in Diamond, which is kind of like between Diamond, you know, I always place in Diamond 3, I always will. Like between Diamond, Master, and Grandmaster, Diamond is obviously by far the least interesting because it's the worst level of play out of the three. Master's like, bottom of Master is pretty bad in my opinion as well, just relative to my expectations. And then top half of Master is not too bad, and then Grandmaster is where I'd like to be, and that's what's most interesting to me. So, you know, couple that, it's like playing less takes longer to climb, and then I'm still in Diamond, which is where I find least interesting. It's just three factors that go together to make a pretty unhappy recipe. But that's okay. I'm just kind of taking it easy and just kind of climbing up for streams. And then I do need to sit down and do some more Road to Grandmaster videos too at some stage. It's quite difficult to actually get worthwhile footage for that in Diamond, because there's just the strategy and stuff. There's not too much strategy. There's a lot of mistakes that happen in those games. So it's not as interesting, I feel, to do a Road to Grandmaster video on, but we'll see. Anyway, there's a few thoughts on kind of what's going through my head there at the right now at the moment. Certainly, Garrosh was just announced the other day, and I'm actually really hyped for that. Really looking forward to a new, hopefully he's a main tank. Please be a main tank. Please, Blizzard, please. If he's a new main tank, that'll be amazing, and that will actually refresh the game for me in a big way. Because the meta's been relatively static for a while too. Yeah, there you go. Here are my thoughts. Next question. Question here from Locksman says, why did that guy I was playing a game of HOTS with ban Abba, and then why did he ban him again when I stumbled upon him again? Abathur ban. Most efficient ban strategy approved. Okay, next question is a question from Archangel. Says, do you have a main hero or comfort pick on HOTS? And actually, I'm re-recording this one because between when I first did this video and then when I'm publishing it now, I actually made a video on comfort picks specifically, where I went through and I illustrated all of my heroes and how I feel about them and gave you guys some guidelines. So I do recommend checking out that video if you haven't seen it. I think it's, a lot of people found it super helpful. Like, that was one of the most positive feedback videos I've done really ever. Like, people really took that one up really well and found it exceptionally helpful. So I was really happy to do that, and kind of inspiring me to do more videos like that as well. But yeah, like my main hero will probably be like Fala and Lunara. Then also I really like tanks as well. Like, so kind of like ranged assassins and tanks are kind of my favorite ones. Like sustained range damage dealers, and then like tanks, main tanks. They're my best. So there you go. Question from Unique. Will you join a pro clan and play professional HOTS sometime? No, I really don't think so. A couple of reasons. Well, the main reason would be one of motivation, which is that I really enjoy playing videos and streaming and making videos for you guys and guides. That's what I love doing. I'm not as in love with, you know, like playing the game to a super high level. I do love that stuff, but not as much. My main passion is in terms of making videos. So devoting all of my time into playing HOTS professionally would actually take away from that. So that's not really a trade I want to make. Number two, I think there's also a better career probably in making videos long term than there would be in playing professionally. So that's, you know, hey, I'm moving into my late 20s pretty soon, so that's a pretty important consideration. And number three, I wouldn't actually be at the level to play professional HOTS, certainly not in Europe anyway. You know, that would require a lot more practice and hours put in by me each day to really hone the craft with all the different heroes, which I'm not like too interested in. Like, I feel like I can play stuff to a high master, low grandmaster standard for the most part, which is, I think, great for making videos, and I like playing loads of different heroes, so I'm pretty happy doing that. Yeah, I'm not interested in playing, you know, whatever, 8 hours a day, every day, to train up and be good enough to play on a pro team. And yeah, it's too much time to take away from the things I really like doing. Next question is from Kosami. Says, Nub, your tips and guides are great, love them. However, who's a good instructor for someone of lower skill and rankings? Most of your guides and tips are geared towards advanced play, and I'm not just not sure I'm there yet. I don't know. Honestly, I haven't been watching any other HOTS content creators for a few months now. So I don't know. I would think probably, I think Grubby does some live streams that are more educational based and very positive and all that sort of stuff. So he might be good to watch. Or Palitime as well. They're the two biggest HOTS content creators. So I think they're probably good places to start. They kind of cater a bit more quite often towards newer guys, I think, though I don't watch them myself, at least not at the moment, so I can't tell you for sure, unfortunately. Maybe someone will have good tips in the comments for other people they could watch. Okay, the next question is from Nehelenia, and I'm actually re-recording the first bit of this question. My answer to the second two parts is actually the original, but why am I recording the first one? It's because the question is there a Miss Nubs in the picture? And when I recorded this when you first submitted the question almost a month ago, there was, but since then, well, like about a couple of days after I actually recorded the video, suddenly there was not. So yeah, re-recording was kind of necessary. But basically I've been going out with a girl for about a year, but the last like 3 months of that, like since this very, very start of April, had been long distance, because she had gone away to Spain, and basically kind of reached a point where like I'm much more interested in like long-term like relationships. I like all that sort of stuff, you know, like deep conversations and kind of like just growing a relationship and working on that and for the future. I'm pretty settled down, where she was a lot younger, and she's much more interested in, you know, traveling and finding herself, and not really interested in anything like that at all. Like I'm 26 and she was like 21, so it's just like different life stages, and that was one of the big things that really led to that falling apart. And I'm kind of looking back at it kind of been falling apart for a long time, or at least, you know, I would be looking at moving forwards and kind of building things deeper, whereas like that was not as much part of her agenda either. So just kind of different places, you know. So yeah, I'm actually doing all right, which is good. And it was really nice actually having the live streams and stuff. Like that was amazing that, you know, whatever, I could just go online and pick any game and there'd be, you know, like 10, 20, 30 people would be there to like just instantly to, you know, just chat to me and spend time with. So that was a really, really helpful thing for getting over that too. But yeah, this ties in as well to, so I can't remember if the question is earlier or later in this video, but the idea of going back to Nubs Talks, which is my vlog channel, because I feel like it's just like in terms of, I have a pretty good understanding of myself and like my strengths and weaknesses as a person. And like, I feel like I've dealt with the breakup, this one, really, really well, actually. And I think the reason for that is just my strengths as a person, right, tend to be, well, I'm not very emotional, really. I've got very good control of my emotions. I'm very logical. I got really good understanding of things. I'm very analytical. And like, that's the kind of person I am. I'm just like, I'm cool with sitting down and like, whatever it happens to be. Like, I don't get bothered by things too much. I'd be able to sit down and really think things through and understand from any sort of angle. The drawbacks of my personality, I say the main drawbacks would be like arrogance, probably difficulty like empathizing with people that are more emotional, and then kind of like the two of those kind of combined to like lack of patience with people when they don't kind of approach it in the same sort of rational way that I would. So that leads to me getting very frustrated, for example. That pretty much the only time, you guys are probably watching this going, what? No, you're not that emotional. You get very angry when you're playing Heroes of the Storm. Well, I do, because, you know, when I see people just doing things badly or irrationally, or just doing stuff like really stupidly in game and Hero League, or just saying things that are dumb, that can drive me totally nuts. Like when they're just wrong about things, when they're just wrong, or they're just thinking about it like in a really bad way, that can drive me particularly nuts. But apart from that, I'm generally very calm. But yeah, So I think that that sort of personality really helped me deal with this in a pretty good way and kind of move past it. I'm kind of like dating again, which is great. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's probably fairly unusual, but that's just the way I am. But yeah, I want to go back to my Nub Talks channel, which is like more of a vlogging and serious and kind of life talking type thing. And I want to actually focus more on kind of just more practical or simple in a way, more personal kind of life events and just talking about those. Like, obviously I've been thinking about relationships loads. So I've got loads of things to say about relationships and what makes them work or doesn't, or how to approach them, how to understand them. Because I've been thinking about that loads for the last, couple of months, obviously. So yeah, I'd actually like to do a lot of vlogs, kind of talking about that, and hopefully it might be helpful, in the way that people tend to find my videos for Heroes, helpful in terms of understanding Heroes of the Storm. Hopefully I could, do the same sort of thing with just understanding life in general. It's something I'd find really fulfilling to do. So yeah, I talk more about Nub Talks among the other questions. So you hear about some of the practical limitations to doing it and that over there. But yeah, that's basically where I'm at there. So yeah, like dating again. So there could be a proper Miss Nubs in the picture again. Who knows? Yeah, I like talking about stuff and understanding stuff, and it's funny, realizing just how much that can help me deal with even bad things that happen in my own life, and hopefully give some of that back and include some of you guys in it too at some stage. So yeah, there you go. What are I studying or studied? So I have when I first went to college, I studied religion, history, and education. With a few other little bits thrown in there as well. Then I went back and I did a master's in philosophy and politics, and then I got bored of it and haven't gone back since. If not for YouTube right now, what I'd be doing instead? Geez, I really don't know. Honestly, it probably could be anything. Like, I'm technically qualified to teach, so I might have gone into teaching for a while. I could see myself probably not so much maybe the school stuff, but maybe some sort of further education or adult education could be really cool. I might have even ended up going back and doing, a doctorate and moving into lecturing or something. If I wasn't doing the YouTube stuff, or it could be something totally different and crazy, like some sort of business thing. I really don't know. I mean, the older I get, I suppose, the more I'm kind of open to doing different things, the more the horizons expand. Certainly when I was like 18 going to college, I was like, I want to teach and that's it. And now, of course, I'm doing YouTube, and I still obviously have a passion for teaching and all that sort of stuff. But I'm much more willing and excited and just informed on doing that in different, bigger ways, right? So it was before I was like, all I knew was secondary school or school, basically. And was saying, oh, well, I'll go and I'll teach in a school because this is the only teaching I've really experienced. As I experience more and more sort of stuff like that, that's kind of stuff I like going into. Next question is from Deadman. Would you consider playing with Squadron again, even though they call you Nubkeks? Yeah, man. I do like playing with Squadron. They're really nice people. The biggest issue really is the time zone difference is huge and it's crazy. And the stuff I was mentioning before with the sort of awkwardness of me working from a family home, just streaming at crazy hours is really difficult to do. So that's the real big hurdle with Squadron. But yeah, I mean, a couple of them call me Nubkeks. Some of them get it right and they're fine. But like, especially some of the guest people and stuff, they call me Nubkeks, which is like kind of face palmy. I guess it's a difficult name to read. But yeah, seeing as, every video starts with, hey guys, Nubkeks here, whatever. What is it? Hey everyone, Nubkeks here. That's what I say. I don't even know what I say. It happens automatically. You think I say the name in every video. You should know. You should know. But oh well. Next question's from Tokyo. Why isn't there MVP on HGC? Yeah, that's actually a really interesting idea. I would be pretty interested actually in seeing an MVP for a series. I wouldn't like an MVP per game. It doesn't make sense. Because, it's such a team-based game, and oftentimes it'd be even really hard to find an MVP per game. But, or, there might be an obvious MVP, but it's not really fair because they're doing the cool stuff in the game because their team is enabling them to do so. But I think for a full series, I think over the course of, a 3, 4, 5 game series, I think you probably could pick out an MVP and say, wow, this person pulled out some really cool picks, or, the draft really revolved around them, or like the gameplay was huge. They're consistent every game. You know, they played 2 or 3 different roles and had a massive impact on each one. I think you definitely could do that, and I'd love to see that. I'd love to see more, you know, statistics as well, and things like that. Like you know, it's just the reality of the production quality is that the hot stuff is actually quite good. But you know, let's say when you watch League of Legends, a bigger game, like they can invest so much more into their esports because they just, you know, it's just more money. It's a bigger game. They make more money and they pump a lot more money into esports to advertise it. So like the League of Legends quality of broadcasting and esports stuff is definitely higher. And there's all that sort of stuff that you could bring over as HOTS continues to grow and that budget sort of starts to make sense. Gregor Stone asks, what do you like better, chocolate or Kerrygold? So Kerrygold is like a fake butter replacement that's like easy to spread. I would have to say chocolate. I mean, if you're just meaning like all butter / buttery type substances, that's very difficult then. But yeah, definitely would prefer chocolate to Kerrygold. I like chocolate's good. I like it. Thumbs up for chocolate. Question from Muzak0078. Can you create a petition for play of the game moments? I think it'd be great. Clips of the game, and whoever gets it is practically MVP. Yeah. So like a top 5 plays of the week type compilation. I think that's a great idea. I think it's really cool. The issue, which again I've mentioned in a few of these questions so far, is just simply time and work effort and trying to fit everything in. Like I have too much on my plate at the moment to actually do it. But that is actually something I would love to do and get going. But I don't have the space to do it personally. That's the kind of thing that'd pretty much be maybe even one of the top, you know, 2 or 3 types of videos I would love to make if I had like, you know, an assistant or someone, even like a part-time or an editor or something like that, even part-time, someone just doing a bit of extra work and helping, which I'm working towards at the moment. But, you know, once I got that fully on board and fully going, that's definitely the type of video I'd love to make. I think it'd be really, really nice and be fun for you guys as well. The next question is from Draco. He says, do you even lift? So do you lift more than Diablo can with his E? No, I don't lift. I don't lift. And my right wrist is pretty dodgy. I actually did a little bit of lifting in CrossFit before, and I'm pretty sure I damaged my wrist somehow doing that. It's kind of a mess, and I haven't had the money to ever get it sorted. Right, hopefully soon-ish, before it's too late or something. But yeah, no, I don't lift. I actually need to exercise more. I do. Because I used to, you know, get out and walk a lot. Because I used to walk everywhere, like to college and stuff like that. And I'd be out all the time. Whereas I'm not doing that as much anymore because I work from home. So actually, you know, it's actually 100% a health thing. I need to get out and do more stuff. Definitely levels of fitness, lowest all time. And that's not good. I actually just feel like I want to do more, and I am doing a little bit more, but want to do even more still. So yeah, it's just not lifting though. Screw that. It's too much effort. Blah. Not bothered. But you know, just getting out and walking and going on adventures and stuff. I'd like to do that more. Question from Fafruni says, when will you come to France? We need to make beer drinking contests. I actually go to France quite a bit. I love France. France is one of my favorite countries to visit. I love the weather. I love the culture. I love the food. I love the places. It's a really beautiful country. So I will come to France at some stage. Never really drink beer in France. I drink, you know, cider kind of in the north. And then, of course, wine. That's one of the best things about going to France. The wine is so much cheaper. It's like half, if not a third, maybe even a quarter of the price of what it is here in Ireland. Like, it's crazy. It's so much cheaper, and it's just really nice. You know, just laying back, bit of wine, bit of cheese, French food. Oh, it's the best, man. It's the best. Question from Wilbur Machine. What to do when your team is stupid and you just want to win, but they won't let you? I don't know. I tend to rage a lot. I tend to rage a lot and curse a lot. And then I still keep, you know, trying to play my best and do 9.5 times out of 10. And that's kind of all you can do. I mean, it can just be very frustrating, and there's, I don't know, you just need to find ways to kind of manage your frustration. And I think probably the best idea is not to care too much about how the game is going to go, because if you don't really care, then you can just, you take it much easier if you're not that invested. But obviously that's kind of impossible to do in like Hero League. It's super difficult in Hero League because the entire point of Hero League is a game mode that you are invested in. So yeah, I don't know. It's going to be frustrating. Oftentimes you just have to accept that there's not much that you can do. And that's just the way it's going to go. And hey, just, I don't know, practice Buddhism, maybe? Question mark? Next answer. The next question. There's no answers here, only questions. Oh, it's like life. God damn it. Okay, a question here from Char D. Hey Nubkeks, which kind of hero do you think HOTS misses or needs? This is actually the final question. I'm re-recording. Hooray! So I ended up on live stream the other day, seeing as we got Garrosh announced, and you know, the teaser for Garrosh was so cool. Because it had like people like with the Dark Portal, and people were wondering all the different sorts of heroes, and people were so into that when I did the video on it, and like coming up with all the different heroes it could be, and they're getting so excited. I actually sat down during one of the streams, and there was actually a list of leaked potential upcoming heroes, and I went through the entire thing. So I'll be publishing that very soon as well. It might even be up before this video goes up, I don't know. But in that one, like, we go through this list of heroes, I show you pictures of all the heroes, we talk a bit about the lore, and that was really interesting. But yeah, in terms of, I think, the heroes that HOTS misses or needs, just overall in terms of the game right now, like I said earlier in the vid, I really hope that Garrosh is a main tank, because we really need another main tank hero. Stukov being a support was fantastic. There's space for a few more supports, to be honest with you. It's also been quite a long time since we've had a mage, like a burst spellcaster from range, along the lines of, you know, Jaina or Chromie. It's been a long time since we've had one of those. So those are kind of the heroes I'd like to see, you know. I'd love to see, you know, another main tank or two would be fantastic. Again, more main healers would be fantastic. Even a couple more secondary supports. I'm not as keen on those. But, you know, another main tank, main healer, and then, you know, another mage is something that we haven't had in a long time. So those are the three things that I would really, really like to see, just to flesh out the character pools a bit more. Double asks, will you go back to doing these videos when you commentate your gameplay? Yeah, I will go back to doing those more as well. I already touched on this earlier, but basically, you know, I've been trying to really build up the Nubs streams and my streaming stuff and playing different games, which is a lot of initial time and work goes into that. You know, just for, let's say, the Nubs streams channel, for you to click onto it and go, oh wow, yeah, there's like 4 or 5 playlists here, maybe even, you know, 10 or 20 playlists here. Oh yeah, cool. Well, these couple of games look interesting. Then you watch those games, and then you come back, you're like, you know what, I really enjoyed the gameplay. Oh, I'd actually quite liked it. Now I think about it, see Nubkeks, you know, playing this other game as well. You know, having that big variety of playlists on a channel is a big deal. Whereas, you know, when you click in and there's 2 playlists, if you're not particularly interested in either one, you kind of go, whatever. And then you don't go back to that channel for a long time. So there's been a lot of work. I'm putting in a lot of work and time to building up the streaming and that sort of stuff to really make it the best sort of channels I can make them. And that's been taking time away from playing Heroes of the Storm. It's also been good for me because I've needed a break. You know, I definitely wanted a bit of a break from the game. The meta's also been pretty static for a while now. So it's just been good for me to get away a little bit, but I am going to be coming back and doing more of that stuff. I've even published, since you asked this question, I've already published 1 video. I have a second one coming out the day I'm recording this commentary, which is going to be post-game commentary as well. And I've got, I think I've got 2 more videos stored up and recorded already, which need to get that post-game commentary put over them. So I am working on them, and you can expect a lot more going forwards. Question from Legion, do you have any animals? Yes, I've got Winston, and Winston is the best, and you can hear him barking in some videos, and you can see him on streams. If you want to come and see him, hop over to the stream. Winston says hi all the time. He's amazing. I love Winston so much. And then the final question is from Oladi, or Olaji? Olaji, I don't know. Will there ever be a fan meetup? If so, where would it be? God, I don't know. I've never planned one. It just seems such a weird idea to me that I'd have a fan meetup. You know, it's just such an odd idea that people would be fans or would want to come to see me or hang out with me. It's really weird. I don't know. I'd really have to get my head around that. I'm also not particularly extroverted, so, you know, it's a lot of energy to go to like conventions or stuff or do that sort of thing. But I'd be interested in doing it maybe sometime. But it just seems so weird that I'm not anytime particularly soon. And I have no idea where it would be. Again, like that's one of the weird things, right? As a YouTube channel, you've got viewers from all over the world. So where would you go? I really don't know. I really don't know what other people do. Probably, you know what? It would probably be like BlizzCon at some stage. That makes the most sense for what I do. You know, go to BlizzCon. Not this year, maybe next year. And meet people there. That would make sense. So maybe then? Maybe? I don't know. Well, there you go, guys. That was the AMA Q&A. I've switched from Q&A to AMA. I think it sounds cooler. So let me know if you enjoyed it, or if you've any kind of thoughts or questions or answers or Any things you want to share down in the comments, do feel free to do that and I'll read them all, of course. And yeah, give it a thumbs up if you like the video, and I'll see you all next time for some more. If you do want to get involved with these, by the way, let me mention again, I take questions on Patreon and I take questions on Discord as well. So that's where you can answer those. Guys, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.